Good evening, everyone. Welcome to AI for Designers. My name's Jackson. I'm the host. I'm also the organizer of AI User Group and AI User Conference. We're having a conference at the end of this month, and if you go on the website, you'll notice it's sold out. However, if you jump on this QR code here and you type in these promo codes, you can get a ticket. So this is an exclusive offer for you guys, our AI User Group community. The codes are AIUG Rocks. That is for a free GA pass. If you'd like to upgrade to a Pro Pass, you can see at the top, early 99 gets you a 67% discount on a GA pass. So take a look at that as well. We'll have speakers from Shutterstock, Adobe, Canva, GitHub, Wizard, Simplified, you name it. So that's what's happening. That's at the end of the month. So please register if you haven't done so already. This is where it is, 5 blocks from here, the Hibernia. It's 4 stories, an immense, opulent stained glass window. The rooftop has this very iconic, identifiable copper dome. You know it if you saw it. It's on Market Street. We'll have workshops. We'll have a main stage, lots of activities to learn about AI-powered tools and workflows. You can be trained on the tools in the workshops. So that's the idea. Hands-on experience. Let's see, what else? Don't be shy. This is my email if you want to reach out to me about questions for the conference, or if you'd like to present here, this is my email. So probably the same email I emailed you tonight to RSVP with. That's my email. What else? Quick agenda, then we'll get started. First we'll hear from Shantanu, then we'll hear from Vedi, then we'll hear from Grace. At 8 o'clock, get your announcements ready. We'll take 5 minutes. You can stand right here for the LinkedIn audience as well and introduce yourself in person to kick off networking with a few announcements. Then we'll have pizza, and the doors close at 8:50. So that's what's happening. So without further delay, let's get started. Our first presenter is Shantanu Roy. He's the co-founder of Quasi, and the title of his talk is Designing Smarter with AI and Figma. So without further delay, let's hear from Shantanu.
Hi, everyone. Cool, you guys can see it. My name is Shantanu. Thank you, Jackson, for the great intro. So yeah, I just want to talk a little bit about designing smarter with AI, especially in Figma, because I know a lot of us just live in it. I live in it day to day. And so I just wanted to share a little bit about what I have done to optimize my workflow, what has worked, what hasn't worked, and then kind of I'll offer an opportunity for you guys to ask some questions. But just for a little bit of background on me, so at heart, I'm a product designer, but I also am a founder. I do a couple of different things. I currently go to Purdue. So at Purdue University, I run the startup ecosystem. So I also help mentor other startups, help them get ready for funding, and just help build product, get customers, get revenue, a lot of those things. I've also been building with generative AI since early 2021. My co-founder and I, we got access to GPT-3 late 2020 when it was like a closed beta, so over a year before ChatGPT came out. So we've been building with this tool for quite a while. We know the ins and outs. We've also seen the entire industry just evolve pre-hype, post-hype. We're still in the hype, trying to figure out exactly where the value is. So yeah, and also one of the cool things I just wanted to share this, we built an AI music station, one of the first ones we launched in like March 2022. Within a month, we got like 12,000 active listeners because it was like first to market, so it was a lot of fun. But I have also built and designed a lot of products across verticals. Ranging from like consumer marketplaces, building marketing SaaS tools, consumer entertainment, the music station, ed tech tools, just a lot of different things. And so I have gotten a fairly good understanding of just general value, both on the customer side, but also as a designer, where to build. So I'm going to talk a little bit about just like the product design side of things, and then also doing the handoff to development and what we have done to kind of help optimize that a little bit and show you some cool stuff. So specifically with product design, there's 3 areas that I have found to be incredibly helpful. In terms of making the actual mock-ups, you still need a designer to do all of that, and AI can't actually like do those just yet well enough, besides just giving you a template, cookie cutter thing. So there are 3 things that really help me when I want to do things. So First one is generating icons. There's a really cool tool that I'm going to show you guys that can generate SVGs just straight from text, which is pretty awesome. Also helping you do some copy for whether it's your app, landing pages, whatever it may be. And then on top of that, generating images, whether it's placeholder text, general artwork, whatever it may be for marketing promos. I know a lot of groups around SF use this for a lot of their just content, so it's been pretty awesome. So the three tools that I use mainly is one, Diagram. If you guys don't know what Diagram is, they are an AI design company recently acquired by Figma. So they're starting to do a lot more integrations with a lot of the Figma tools, and so I'm going to show you guys one of their tools because the other ones don't work just yet. On top of that, for generating like UX copy, I use something called Frontitude. It's actually been incredibly helpful just having versatility, and the plugin is just really, really awesome. And then last but not least, anything that is not icons or copy, I use OpenAI for everything. Like even if I just run out of ideas and I'm like, I don't even know what feature I want to build, I can just ask ChatGPT. Really, really helpful for that. So yeah, these are the three main tools that I use. I'm gonna kind of go through a really quick demo, just giving you guys like a walkthrough of my workflow. If you guys have questions, write them down, save them for later. I'm just gonna go through all my demos and then we'll go through that. So let's open up Figma. Okay, so as you guys can see, this is just a demo app, but let's just say I'm working on like a fitness app. It's like generating customized workouts, whatever it may be. And so, when I open up the app, I want to like work on some sort of onboarding or showcase some of the features. I don't really know what icons I want to use for just showcasing these features in just a visual way. So what I'll do is I'll go to this icon on the top. Usually it has components, plugins, widgets. You click on the plugins and you go down to Magician, or if you can't find it, just search it. That's the tool made by Diagram. If you go down the drop down, you'll see that there's three options: Magic Icon, Magic Copy, Magic Image. Unfortunately, Magic Copy and Magic Image don't work even though they shipped it. So I'm only going to show you guys Magic Icon. It is actually really, really cool. So I'll just leave it off to the side. I know it's kind of small, so I'll be doing a voiceover. Basically, all you have to do, it's very simple, just like how you use ChatGPT. You just type in a prompt of what you would like, and then it'll generate an SVG. So for this first feature, it's a customized fitness plan. So I'm thinking like workout, weights might be a good icon. So I can just click generate after I type it, and then you are presented with 4 options. It takes a while to make those vectors. But as you can see, some pretty cool options. And if you don't like it, all you can do is just click enter again and you're good to go. So I actually kind of like this one. So then it turns it into a vector and it gets added. So what's awesome about this, I'll put it off to the side. What's awesome about it is that because it's an actual vector, you can edit it and kind of make all your adjustments. It's actually really, really helpful. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to first put it into the color scheme, copy it over, add it into here. And then I'm going to just make some edits because I want it to look pretty. Cool. So there you go. That's just one icon that we can do. So now let's just say for the next one, I want to just do videos. I'll keep it really simple. I just want to have an icon. And again, if it's not available just on a standard like UI library, or if you want to make your own custom just designs or have your own aesthetic, it's really, really simple. Diagram has done a really good job at just doing this and being able to do this at scale, which is pretty awesome. And so again, does the exact same thing. You can just add it to wherever you would like. And then hopefully 35. And let's move this over. Cool. So that's basically how this works. I'm not going to do the last one just for time's sake, but this is just a really cool tool, really been helpful for me, especially when I want versatility, or like I use SF symbols all the time for getting my icons, and SF symbols doesn't have everything that I want, so this is just a really nice alternative. So yeah, now moving on to just generating copy, there's talking a little bit about Frontitude. Again, you do the same thing. You just type in Frontitude, and it'll say like it's the UX writing assistant. You launch it, and this plugin is actually really nice because if you just select any sort of text that you already have written, it'll auto-populate into the box. And so what you can do is you can say, hey, this is like good, but I want to make it a little bit longer. I want to expand it. And what is this element? Well, I can just select, let's see, this might be like an input placeholder. And then I want to have it like be sentence case. Or if I want to do something custom, I can type in like a custom prompt of whatever I would like. But I think this is just good enough for now. So if I just click rewrite, it'll take a second, and it'll give you a bunch of suggestions for just copy. And I can just do just slight little improvements, and it's been really helpful for me just having some versatility. So I can just like click one, and it automatically gets updated into your mockup, which is pretty awesome. So kind of along these lines, you can see that a lot of these tools are just really, really helpful for being able to just not have to spend as many brain cycles on this. It's just conserving. You can spend most of your time just working on the overall UI, thinking about these things. So that's a little bit about the icons and then the text. So now jumping over to images, I use ChatGPT. The GPT store just launched today, so now like everyone should have access to this if you use ChatGPT Plus. But basically you can just explore all these different GPTs that people have made. So I'm just gonna use the Dall-E one because it's just, really convenient. So for example, since this is a workout app and I'm doing like high intensity interval training, I'll just say like make an image of a person working out. Make an image of a person working out, high intensity interval training. And then I'll probably say like photorealistic and 8K, just to like add a little bit more pizzazz to the image. And then almost instantly, Dall-E just creates the images, and you're usually given 2 options, which is pretty convenient just in case, or you can just keep regenerating over and over until you get the one that you like. And this is just kind of like prompting, basically. If you just figure out what the style that you're looking for, you just need to add more modifiers. So at the end, I put photorealistic in 8K. So not super photorealistic, but I think it's good enough for this demo. So I can just click download. Get saved into my folder, so when I go over to Figma and I want to add my image to this frame, I can just go back, pick the image, and then we're good to go. So pretty awesome way just to have just good examples of all of these things. So another tool that Diagram has is called Automator. It's actually super cool because you can set up different automations and you can have custom shortcuts pre-made on your behalf for different things. So I have the sample app that I made. I can go into plugins, I can find Automator, I can just launch it, and you can make as many automations as you want. So say you have a bunch of actions, you get access to a lot of different elements within Figma. So there's layers, you can like have it automatically create a frame, you can insert an SVG, you can group selections, do a bunch of these automations and basically make an entire flow on your behalf. This is like really, really cool, very, very helpful. And you can have like, you can convert an element that you made into a component, you can insert instances, whatever it may be. So I'm just going to show you guys the one that I already made, which is Generative Style Guide. So I've been working, I already have some local styles. I just click the automation and it already just writes everything down and just has something really quick that I can make. And I can even add a way to even include the hex codes if needed. That's just another parameter to be added. So this is just a really nice, cool tool to help have some more macros at your availability. So that's mainly the things that I use for just my day-to-day workflow, which have been pretty awesome. So I want to show you guys one more thing to go back to my deck. So yeah, it's been pretty awesome, but I like to think of myself as like an end-to-end AI person. So from product design to development to marketing, I want to automate as much of the busy work as possible. So one of the big things that we as designers do is we have to hand it off to our dev team, usually. So what does that look like? How can we do this? How can we make this a little bit easier? Well, there's actually some really cool tools just built into ChatGPT. So going back to ChatGPT, there are actually a lot of GPTs that are already built. The one I'll show you guys is Swift GPT. You can just ask it. It has all the data from the entire Swift UI library and all the documentation, and you can just ask it prompts, and it'll give you native components and the code for it automatically. So for this example, I'm gonna take a mock-up that I made over here. This is just a little settings page. So I'll do Command-Shift-C to copy it as a PNG. I'll go back over to Swift GPT. I'll paste in this image, and then I will basically say, convert this Figma mockup into Swift UI code. Please use native components. Just to like add it on, just to make it extra good. So now we'll just wait for a little bit, and what you will actually see, pending the Wi-Fi, is that it will start just writing code for you, and it'll walk you through the entire process as well. Now this is just basic Swift UI code, and obviously Swift UI is like one of the easiest languages to do coding with, but this is so helpful even for me just to get a basic foundational system that I can just send over to the dev team and make these small iterations as needed. So yeah, let's let this play out a little bit. As you can see, it even does like navigation links. It does a lot of the styling on your behalf. It even tells you like things that you need to do because it just did the boilerplate information in the boilerplate code. So I already had one made, so I'll just use that one just for time's sake, if it can load. Okay. So I'll just copy this code over. I'll open it inside my Xcode preview. And, okay, I do need to make the views. Shoot. Let's copy this one over. So when I have this one just made entirely by Swift GPT, boom, it makes an entire thing made on your behalf. And take a look at that. All the navigation links work entirely. And what's awesome is you can just go back to ChatGPT and say, hey, this is a really good starting point. I wanted my icons to be, accent.orange, or I wanted to have it route to this thing. I want to modify this button. Now you can have an ongoing conversation with ChatGPT, but you have a really good starting point. And this has been really helpful for me. Now I can just hand this off to dev team and say, hey, here's the framework. Now go and attach endpoints, whatever backend needs to be done, and it makes things a lot easier. So that's just a little bit about my workflow, the things that I've been doing. So thank you so much. I want to open it up for any questions, but if you want to connect with me, my LinkedIn is here. More than happy to chat with any of you guys about just things in general, philosophy, AI, Apple, anything. So thank you so much.
Thanks very much, Shantanu. Let's open it up for Q&A. Any questions from the audience for Shantanu? Don't be shy. Okay, perfect. And if you guys could just help me out passing the mic. And when you're done speaking, just pass it to the next person. And one final request, just please stand.
Whatever. So my question is, one of the hardest things in Figma for me, naming your layers. How can AI help with that?
Yeah, so just to repeat the question, naming layers in Figma is just a nightmare. And so how do you kind of do that? So Diagram actually does have something. They're working on it, and it's really iffy. It's like an alpha version, but along the same lines, if I go back here, I can go back to that plugin system. If you click just Magician and click Home, they have something called Magic Rename where they have layers where you can do it. It's very buggy and it doesn't always work, but there are a lot of companies that are working on this, and this is a priority. So I'm pretty sure at this config, we're going to see something along these lines. So yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Of course.
Next question for Shantanu. Shantanu, how long have you been using these tools for production purposes? Like this whole workflow?
Yeah, I've been doing this for like 9 months around that time. So really have optimized it, tried a huge number of tools, and these are the ones that just work the best. And if all else fails, just use ChatGPT. It's just like such a good tool, especially if you have Plus. It can browse the web. You can just prompt it, just say like, hey, go look this up, go find it, and have it actively seek stuff out. And then the second thing that I would recommend is ask it to like repeat back the task that it's about to do, or it's saying like, hey, I want you to go and do this. What is the information that you need from my end to help you do this faster? So just that little tweak in prompting makes my entire workflow a lot easier as well.
Anyone else from the audience? Perfect. Here, let me hand you the mic. Go ahead.
Oh, thank you for the amazing presentation. So I have a quick question. I noticed that for your slides, there's a animation in the background. So I was wondering, how did you make that?
Yeah, so I'm an Apple fanboy, so this is Keynote, so Apple's default presentation software. They have a lot of templates. So I'll just swipe back. Sorry for the motion blur. But in the side, they have these either standard or dynamic backgrounds. And so if you click dynamic backgrounds, they have a lot of different color options, like there's like a wave, different things. So I use this for all of my decks. It's really pretty, so. And everyone always gives me compliments about this, but I do absolutely no work. It's all pre-made, but you can do as much editing as you want. So yeah.
Perfect, thank you.
Yeah, I was just curious, like what kind of feedback or pushback do you get when you start handing developers code from Swift?
Yeah, that's an excellent question. Just to repeat it, what's like the biggest sticking point from the dev team when I do handoff? I think one of the things that I have just instinctively learned is like understanding design limitations for developers, like using Swift if I want to build an iOS app, like what are the limitations, things that just the developers won't be able to do in a certain amount of time. But we have built a system where essentially I do mock-ups like over a weekend. On Monday morning, we just do a critical design review, sit down with the dev team, talk about everything, all the features, functionality, and then they start going in just like by themselves, talking about different endpoints, things that need to be built. They plug in their bullet point list or basically their meeting notes into ChatGPT, then they just write the code. And if the code says that it can't do something, then they'll come back to me and say, you need to modify this is not really working, or anything. So we basically, as much as we can, we offload it to ChatGPT, and it minimizes the amount of like feedback points that we have. Thank you.
Yes, my experience was most of the time spent is on retrofitting a particular design to different screens, different vendors, different operating systems, and even I work with the European Union, 21 languages.
Yeah.
What do you plan, or how do you use ChatGPT or others to support it, to improve it?
Yeah, I'm not totally confident on it, but there is a tool that I'm still playing around with, so I'm not gonna like advertise it just yet, that they can do localization for like a variety of languages just automatically. You just upload, I think, just the Xcode project, and then you can start to localize it to whatever language you're interested in. That's still like a work in progress. That's more of a dev thing, but I totally agree with you. I think there's just tools that are still going to be built, and I think we're going to start seeing this, especially this year, of a lot of these sticking points for, even just changing from phone to tablet, from tablet to desktop, whatever it may be, being able to have that flexibility. So I know like Framer for landing pages, they have their Framer AI, which automatically has different sizing options available when you just have it, when you prompt it. But we just got to keep looking out for different tools. Yeah. Thank you.
Shantanu, I have a question from the LinkedIn virtual audience. Can you suggest a couple of AI tools for user research activities?
User research. Honestly, I think what's interesting is I use Bing for that situation, Bing Chat or Microsoft Copilot, whatever that is. Basically, I talk about like this user profile or the user profile that I might have in my head of what might be interesting. And then basically it'll start giving me links by default of places that I could reach out to, or different Facebook groups, Reddit forums, whatever it may be. And it gives really good recommendations. And because they cite everything, it makes things so much easier. So I get those hyperlinks just given to me. So it makes the research process a little bit easier.
Hey, my name is Dhruv. Nice, thank you for organizing this and speaking in front of a big audience by yourself.
Yeah.
Really great. I work in ML, I work at Turo in my full time, but I'm looking forward to seeing I'm still not seeing AI in the physical space. There's a lot of work happening with great UIs in XR and augmented reality, but I'm not seeing T-shirts generated by AI or merch generated by AI, things like that. For my own personal project, I am making greeting cards with AI. What do you think about that trend? When will we start seeing AI-generated content start touching like physical spaces?
I have a feeling that, especially with like, in my personal opinion, like those type of merch-based options is sort of like low-hanging fruit when you can just slap an image onto like a sweater and then be able to sell that at a premium. I think the real value is going to be when essentially you can build like a Shopify competitor where you just have one storefront that automatically routes to all of these different like micro stores, and now you can just use AI to do the routing, also do the generation, do the personalization. And so if there is a company out there, I'd love to talk to you guys about, doing from the Shopify end all the way to the manufacturing, working with like whoever's a distributor for like Alibaba or Temu, that infrastructure, like that is definitely something that can be worked on. And I think that is like $1 billion idea. So if anyone's working on it, I'd love to talk.
Follow-up question?
No follow-up. Yeah, we should connect on that. I have been working on that
Sure.
to create a pipeline with manufacturers, and I'm an ML/AI person myself, so I've been working on how to make prompting easy for people. Not everyone can still prompt Midjourney to make a T-shirt ready image. So
Yeah.
we can connect afterward.
For sure. And I think that's you bring up a really great point. I think there's two things that I've been really thinking about when it comes to AI is that ChatGPT, like, it's a really powerful tool, but it doesn't know when it doesn't know something, so it'll just hallucinate, right? And so that's like a big problem is an AI being able to tell you that I don't know, because like a human, we can do that very well. So thinking about that, and then the second thing is teaching AIs how to prompt humans. So one of my friends, they're working on something, they call it Spooky. It's essentially called the human API, like how do AIs prompt humans and create a good flow in the reverse. So they're working on something really cool. So these are really good questions, and a lot of people are working on these things. So excited to see what happens. Yeah, thank you.
Shantanu, one more question from LinkedIn. This is from Angelica McCreary. Are there any AI tools that you found useful for improving accessibility in Figma or web design in general?
Not yet, but I'm very curious because like I was actually talking about this with a friend yesterday. Is like once you're at the stage where you can like actually like seriously focus on like ADA compliance, you are like set. You are funded, you're like good. But a lot of people don't like to focus on it, and I think that is like a really valuable thing to have like accessibility settings built into everything. And I know like Swift, they like have the dynamic type sizes and things like that that you can conform to. But again, another really cool startup idea that I'd love to help contribute on, but it's just time will tell. I haven't seen anything yet.
It certainly seems like the technology's here to take care of it. Mm-hmm. So, one final question, real quick. So you chose to use Dall-E for the demo tonight. Are there any other image generation tools you use in production other than Dall-E? And why again did you choose Dall-E?
So we have used like Stable Diffusion, we've used Midjourney, we actually built our own image generating engine, we called it Galileo. We've built everything, and I think the easiest thing is when it's like just API callable and you don't have to run your own servers, because for us, we were burning 10 grand a month just on hosting all of these different functionalities. Like we were doing a whisper clone like for speech to text, image, text to image, whatever it may be. So I think, especially if you're working on building just an MVP, trying to get your product shipped into market, just leverage APIs until you can build the infrastructure yourself. And I think just build a data moat will be really valuable. Yeah.
Thanks so much, Shantanu. Let's give Shantanu a round of applause.
Thank you.
Shantanu will be here for networking as well. So if there's any more questions to follow up on, let's ask Shantanu then. Yeah. Thanks very much. And our next presenter is Vedi Chaudhri. She's the product manager at Facet. The title of her talk is AI Designer Workflow from Ideation to Refinement. And Facet is a local company based here in SF, and they have, it's an incredible generative AI platform that's super useful for designers. So super looking forward to this. And without further delay, here is Vedi Chaudhri.
Hello. Hey everyone, super excited to be here today. Today I'm going to talk about how in very simple steps we can up-level our AI design workflow from generating images that look something like this to something that is a little bit more like this, just more consistent, on brand, have images that you could post on social media, etc. But first, a little bit about me. Again, I'm Vedi. I have a background in product design and machine learning from Stanford. I've always been very curious about this intersection, and I've been curious about photography since I was a little kid. I always used to go on runs and take images of sunsets from unique angles, and I think that's kind of how I got into the creative side of things, which led me to companies like Emilia Pucci, which is a fashion brand in Florence, to also bigger companies like Adobe. And currently I am at Facet, where we are working on creating the next set of generation tools for designers in a way that's accessible for them. So with that, thought we could get right into the demo because there's a lot that I want to go over today. So right now it's the new year, and one of my favorite things to do when the year starts is go on Pinterest and look at their trend predictions for the next year. For 2024, they have some really fun ones like cute coins, head to glow, and one of my favorites, Be Jelly. Not fully sure why this one just really resonates with me, but it's fun, it's bubbly. And what's cool about this is a lot of these trends, they influence the product direction, design, etc. of pretty much everything you'll see across the year. So like things like images on social media to different packaging, etc. They really do predict these well. And so something that I thought could be fun for us to try out is pretend that we are a design agency who just got this recent contract for creating a social media campaign for a perfume bottle, but adapting it for this jellyfish trend. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up Facet. This is our editor, where or our generative canvas, where on the left side here you have this really amazing panel that you can use to really create a lot of things. So I'm going to start off with something really simple like a product design of a perfume bottle inspired by jellyfish. And I'm going to click generate a few times. One of my favorite things about generative AI is just how many ideas it can present to you and how you can really diverge in your initial stages of product design. Facet, in addition, has this other really cool feature here called this variance controller, where if you increase it, what it does is it generates a lot more creative images, which in the beginning of my workflows, I like to crank up all the way because, I don't quite have a direction that I'm going for right now. And so let's see, some of these are loading. I'm gonna generate a few more. Some other things that I could do if I wanted to have a little bit more control is I can go over here and I can add an image reference. So the other day I was browsing and I saw this image that I thought was really cool, and I wanted to see, like, could I incorporate something like this into my social media campaign? Again, this could be sketches you make by yourself or like other inspiration photos that you find. But I find using image reference is a really great way of just really pointing the AI generator in whichever direction you're thinking. You can increase the intensity depending on how much or how closely you want the image reference to resemble the output. You could turn it down, etc. While some of those are loading, I'm going to take a look at some of the things we've generated so far. I'm going to add some of the ones that I like on the canvas. Some funky designs. Here we go. I think this is probably more in line with what I was looking for, where it's a lot more of a minimalist look, which is my personal preference. If I like a certain image, what I can do in order to give myself a little bit more control now that like I've ideated, or starting to diverge a little bit, but there is a product direction that is that I find interesting. What I can do is I can click on an image. I could either copy this prompt and paste it over here. What Facet has done for me is it's almost added the story for an initial prompt that I created. Like, I didn't really have to do any of the prompting work myself. For those in the back that might not be able to read this, this says a perfume bottle with a curvy, translucent glass body that mimics the graceful movements of a jellyfish. It has more information around the camera type, color grading, color palette, etc. And you could also, a quicker step would be maybe just clicking this more like this button where you're instantly creating something a lot more similar. Let's see. While those are loading, what I might also do is, I like this image a lot actually, so I might use this as an image reference and try out a different direction while we're at it. With the prompt that I had before, keep going through this workflow. Here we go. Here are some pretty similar looking images that I think are quite neat, actually. I'm going to click more like this on some of these, just because I like having these generations running as I'm working through other ideas, because one of the things I love about the design process is that like it's messy, and Facet's built in a way that allows me to explore just different ideas in parallel at the same time, where one image might inspire the next. I'm going to use this as an image reference now. Maybe crank up the intensity a little bit, lower my variance because I like this direction that it's headed in. And then what you could also do then is you could, since we're creating this social media brand post, we can't just create product imagery, we also have to create like lifestyle, editorial related images that you can post around it in order to really create a specific mood or feel for this campaign that you might put out there. So let's say we kept a lot of this, but instead of a perfume bottle, we put a unique outfit. So just swapping the copy a little bit. I'm going to turn up variance again because we're trying out this new concept. experiment with different intensity levels. Other things you could experiment with is Facet has these custom models that you can add. These are some that I trained in the past. I trained this one that has this like collage and motion blur kind of feel. I think for outfits that could be fun to experiment with. Be more of a collage. See what this is turning. It's a cool looking hat. Etc. Let's see. A unique outfit. Let's keep going with that a little bit. And then after a while, like after you go through this flow of like ideating on images that you like, you can, and converging on the ones that that really stand out to you, you might end up with something like this, which this was another set of images I was working on before, where I started with this perfume bottle. Then I kind of went through that very similar flow where I added it as an image reference or changed up the prompt a little bit to then generating all of these images, which, you know, like Instagram has that 9-image grid. So I feel like this is a pretty good initial attempt at a product direction for a social media campaign. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to export these photos into Facet's very cool image editor, which is also AI-based. And so what's really neat about Facet is I can actually edit all of these images at the same time. And this editor is also content aware. So it gives me a lot of added flexibility and freedom to experiment with things and try them out. One of the first things that I noticed when I look at this is this tub here is the wrong color. I feel like us design folks always get really bothered by those kinds of things. So what I'm gonna do is on the right-hand side, I have all of these tools that I can try out. I'm going to go to this tool called Adjust Palette, where I can essentially, like these are the colors in this image. What I'm gonna do, since I wanna swap the purple, is I'm gonna use a color picker to maybe select one of these pinks. And this tub is now pink, which is nice. I also noticed that these 3 bathroom images have slightly the wrong shade of green. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use that tool again. That's not the right tool. I'm gonna use this one, where I'm just gonna take some of the shades of green from this other image here to try to adapt the colors a little bit more. Let's see. And then you can see it actually kind of went the wrong way, but you could adjust the greens to make them match. What you could also do is you could go here into Explore. These are all artist-generated, auto-segmented styles that have been created, where you can browse like different looks and see how these might look. I personally really like the earth tones one because it just creates a more dramatic flair. I'm gonna add that into the styles. I might also select my foregrounds. With Facet, you can auto mask, which is really neat. I'm gonna click here, and then to my foregrounds layer, I might just bring up the brightness a little bit. Oh, too much, just a little bit. I quite like adding a noise layer in on my images just because it gives it a little bit of that grainy look, which I really like. I might add a lookup table just to experiment with just more ways of control that I have. Turn that down. And then what I could also do, if I wanted to, is I could then composite different assets that I might have, such as a logo on top of these images that I created, to really have a fully on-brand look. I'm gonna leave that one there. This is one that I was working on before, where I added some more of those logos in there, where when I first imported these images from the image generator, like while they're all kind of related, they aren't necessarily ready for a campaign that's ready to be published. But with just a few edits, you can really tie all of these concepts together. Let's see, here's another one that I was experimenting with. If you go on Facet's community page, you can also just see a bunch of images for inspiration. These are some others that I was working on before. And so with that, one of the things that I wanted to chat about really quick is a lot of the times with generative AI and design, we hear this notion of one and done, where there's almost this sentiment of like, you're gonna type in a few words and then your magic image will pop out, and you don't necessarily need designers anymore. But the way I see it is it's still very much still an iterative workflow where, like I was able to generate some images initially, but then it takes so much more to then actually have it be something that I want, and expresses my own unique vision. And at Facet, one of our core goals has been to really enhance creative workflows instead of creating tooling that's trying to replace creatives. And so I really hope you guys all give image generation tools a try if you haven't yet. I think it's a really great way of just pushing your imagination and creating concepts that you might not have ever thought of before. Thank you.
Any questions for Vedi to kick off Q&A? Everyone's scanning the QR code.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I just wonder about the physics of the image. Do you find that images are created that have like physically impossible adaptations and connections, and how do you overcome that?
Yeah, I was actually working on this one the other day where I had generated some really cool images. This is the one that is not going to open. But essentially there was this cactus on top of a bathtub, which you would never have a cactus in a bathtub because that would hurt. And so that's where I think a lot of traditional tools can come really in handy, like some of these retouch tools. Most of like really high quality generated images that you see on social media, there's actually a lot of retouching that goes into those. Like that's where you have these new tools to create something, but then you can also use some of the older ones to balance it. There's also tools such as inpainting, which lets you kind of brush over a section of your image and redo a certain part if something just looks physically incorrect.
Let's, if you guys could just help me pass the mic.
I'll sit back down for a sec. Hi. Oh, should I raise? Okay, sorry. Based off the images that you were kind of showing how Facet works and whatnot, would you say that it's more useful to kind of generate these images for more of like a marketing campaign of sorts, or is it still more towards like product development? What exactly would you say Facet is best used for and how you use it?
Yeah, I think Facet can be used for pretty much any niche out there. I see it as more of a general tool where, like, if you want to use it for fashion, you could use it for fashion, for architecture, portraits, nature-related imagery. I think I have, it's like, here's examples of portraits that you could generate. In the past, I was working on some fashion-related imagery, some more landscape-related ones, others that just trying to create something that might not have been seen before. So overall, I'd say general purpose.
Hi. I find the generate and edit flow very compelling. I was just wondering what kind of design decisions has Facet made to make the workflow inside the app more fitting for the workflow of the users that use the app?
Yeah, it's a great question. One key feature that always stands out to me is this variance slider right here, which I think goes really in line with, as you're creating something, what you naturally tend to do, or like in the design process, you naturally tend to diverge on ideas, and then you converge, and then you diverge a little bit more, and then you converge, and it's like this endless loop until you run out of time, basically. And so I think it's really neat how not only can you expand here, but then we also built in features like generate more like this, or like giving you the option of seeing the entire prompt that was generated, so that you have full control over being able to remix something and really make it your own. Probably some of the ones that would really stand out to me.
Vedi, quick question. So you're an SF-based generative AI design tool, super cool. There's some others in the area. Do you have a number of users around the world, or are a lot of your users based here in the US?
We have an artist community from across the world. If you go on our website, you can join our Discord, where you can connect with more of these folks. It makes time zones interesting sometimes when trying to hop on collaboration calls. But yeah, I've been fortunate to have a pretty global audience at the moment.
I was curious, can you tell me more about how does Facet integrate into the marketing stack or web development stack? 'Cause I feel like there's a very natural fit, and if you've already found, yeah.
I think one aspect that I didn't touch on that is really helpful with integrating into professional workflows is this entire canvas here. It's actually collaborative. So what I could do is I could share this link with anyone, and we could all log in and co-create on this canvas together. We could add comments like, that's not right. It's like, I like this one, a little bigger. And then use this as a space to make decisions, etc. In terms of integrating with other workflows, like other tooling, that's an area we've been looking more into, and I'm definitely very curious to learn more, maybe later, about how you think Facet could integrate with those tools, because that's definitely an area of expansion for us.
Yeah, I definitely have a lot of thoughts. Love to chat.
Cool.
Hi, thank you so much for the demo. I have one question. Why that name, Facet?
That was before my time. I guess in some ways, Facet is, or like our logo for a long time is like a diamond, because there's so many different ways in which you can look at an image, or there's so many different workflows that you can use in order to end up with an image or set of images that you're really passionate about. And one of our goals has always been to allow for that flexibility so that anyone using our apps can really customize the workflow for themselves. So it's like everyone has their own facet, if that makes sense. I don't know if that's actually what they intended, but my interpretation.
I'm not sure. Did it get turned off? You can use mine if not. No, that's good.
Okay.
Thanks.
Do I have to repeat the last part?
Please.
Okay. This is just a really interesting tool, especially for the product design space. I feel like a lot of image generation AIs don't really get used for the product design, especially with an image editor also built in as well. What's the limit for the part where you could remix an image in there? Can you have two images and use that to train your results as well, or is it primarily just one and then eventually later on there'll be more?
So for the image reference feature, it's just one image, but one thing that you can do that I didn't quite touch on is you can actually train an image generation model. So like, for example, one of the models that I trained, I used these 9 images here as a training set. And what I can do is I can go over here, I can click custom models, and this is where I see them pop up. And this is where you can essentially use as many image references as you might want to. I have this model trained here for blue and pink beauty. One of the other trends Facet was looking at was the Kitsy kitchen trend, where we generated all of these images here. And then I found it fascinating, so I trained a model on that as well. And so what you can do is you can actually combine different models also. It's a little unclear exactly how models will interact together sometimes, but I think that's the fun part of AI giving you results that are super unexpected that you would have in no way thought of beforehand.
Vedi, I have a question from the LinkedIn audience, Rajesh Gupta. He's asking, are you building your own AI models or using some open source image-based models?
It's definitely a mix. Like, we have our own algorithms where we've really tried to customize the image generation process, especially one thing you might notice is the outputs from Facet versus other image generation tools is a lot more photorealistic. So we have built out our own pipelines. But of course, we're early stage startup. We definitely want to take advantage of open source tools that are out there. So a mix.
Okay, thank you. Let's take one more question, actually. Sorry.
I have a quick question. So you mentioned that the user can try to train their model on some training set. Are you talking about style transfer or training a new model from scratch?
It's not style transfer. It's this process called LoRa's. So essentially, what I could do is I could, let's say I wanted to train a model on these images. I can select them all, I can right click, and I can say train custom model, where the AI will pick up on the color palette, the different styles, composition, etc. I can name it, let's see, green model. Click train, and in a few minutes, your model is ready to go. It's not style transfer, but if you're looking for a style transfer, in the editor, we have a feature called style transfer. So we have both.
Thanks so much, Vedi. Let's give Vedi a round of applause. Great job. Vedi will be here for networking too, so if you have any other questions, let's chat with her then. And next up, we have Grace Ling. Grace is founder of Design Buddies, content creator, UX designer at Electronic Arts. The title of her talk is Design a Personal Brand Using Gen AI.
Awesome. Hi, everyone. I will plug into my computer. Hi, everyone on LinkedIn as well. Oh, sorry. Let me mute. Yeah. Cool. Hi, everyone. Excited to be here today. Today, I'll be talking about how to design your personal brand leveraging Gen AI and personal branding. So, a bit of context about myself. I've realized I've been creating content on the internet since about over 10 years now, and having a strong personal brand essentially helps opportunities come to you instead of you seeking them out. So I'm just like, want to get a quick vibe check. How do y'all feel about personal branding? Like, yay, nay, thumbs up, thumbs down, medium, mid, yay, okay, yeah. Like, you could be like the best designer in the world, but if no one knows what you do, no one will notice you. So I feel like developing a brand for yourself helps you stand out, especially in this competitive job market. So in my talk, I'll be kind of giving like a brief overview of personal branding, like what it is, how you can use your visual design skills to stand out, like picking colors, logos, typography, as well as like how to figure out like what your mission statement is, like what's like your thesis. And throughout, I have a short slide deck, and I actually have some of my drawings. They're hand-drawn, not made by AI. And how many of y'all are also part of Design Buddies? Amazing, amazing. So the bunny, his name is Fluffle. So Fluffle will be bunnies and Fluffle will be a common theme throughout my presentation. And this is Fluffy, an anime version of Fluffle. So those are their names, friendly mascot of Design Buddies. Yeah, so today I'll kind of go doing intro, personal branding, visual design, and then demoing some Gen AI tools with Adobe Express powered by Adobe Firefly, followed by a Q&A. And I'm Grace. I founded Design Buddies. Design Buddies is the largest UX design community in the world. We have over 63,000 members on Discord and a total audience of 150,000. Our goal is to help designers improve their skills, make friends, connections, land jobs. So we have a lot of free resources online and a lot of meetups in the Bay Area as well, so definitely do join us on Discord. I also host a lot of cool events and create a lot of content, mainly about design and career on LinkedIn and lifestyle and travel on Instagram. And I also work at EA, Electronic Arts, where I build products for content creators. And I love traveling. I've been to over 30 different countries. Last year, I spent 2 months living on cruise ships, so that was really fun. They had Wi-Fi from Starlink, so thanks to Starlink. And I was born and raised in the Bay Area, so I love the California Bay Area. I don't think I ever want to move out. Yeah, so born into tech. So a bit about personal branding. So like, what is a personal brand? Anyone in the audience want to take a jab at this? Oh, yes. Yeah, so I can hear something that speaks to you, how people know who you are. Or it's a bit far. Yeah, so essentially I feel like it's like a feeling, like how people perceive you. How do you make people feel? Kind of like similar to traditional branding. And I would say, like, how would you describe these people's brands? Well, I feel like these are some examples of people with relatively strong personal brands. For example, like Elon, he posts a lot of like memes. Mr. Beast, he does a lot of like pranks and like challenges on YouTube and stuff. So these people, like, I feel like for me, they're very memorable. Like, they do things that are different, and I remember them for their personality, not necessarily for the products they sell. So like, when you want to think about your personal brand, you want to think about like, how do you want to make people feel when you show up? Whether that be like curious, inspired, excited, fun, funny, very educated, could be anything. And essentially, y'all already have what you have, your personal brand. Essentially, it's like your personality, but being loud and proud about it. But we're always learning, growing, experiencing new things, so it's always iterative. And so don't be afraid to don't feel the need to make it perfect. And why do you want to care about your personal brand? Especially in this very competitive job market these days, helps you stand out amongst the crowd. Also helps you make more friends. So by telling people who you are, you attract people who are like you and want to chat with you and building your network as well. Has given me a lot of opportunities to get featured in the media as well. And also if y'all into freelancing, you can also build more trust and authority, really focus on your niche, attract more clients, and charge more premium pricing. I'm going to talk a bit about designing your brand before I hop into your lovely demo. So you can consider all these different elements you can design and tweak about your brands as well. So colors, they can influence feelings. You can pick a few. And you can also pick a few fonts as well. I'll be going through some colors and fonts. You can also use different patterns and textures, different styles of photographies, illustration, iconography as well. Those are my many Instagram accounts for all my random side hustles I started in my life. So I'll hop into Adobe Express. Essentially, how many of y'all, raise of hands, are familiar with Adobe Express? Not very many. All right, cool. It's very similar to, I feel like it's a really great tool to kind of get started in graphic design, but there's also a lot of cool Gen AI features that I'll demo today. If you want to start your personal brand from scratch. You can do design, photos, and videos, and as well, and a lot of social media graphics. So today we'll talk about creating a brand on Adobe Express so you can reuse components for yourself. Creating a LinkedIn cover photo, and then you can also, there's a lot of photo features with Firefly, with generative AI, text effects, text template AI, and more. And also reason why I like Adobe stock is I'm also an artist, so sometimes I get a little concerned about people using my art to train AI. But I know for Firefly, it's trained on Adobe stock, which is already open source. So just want to share that as well. Share Adobe Express. So it's free to use. I have Creative Cloud, but if you don't, it's also free to use as well. There's just some features that are a premium version. So in Adobe Express, you can create a lot of different types of things like Instagram posts, flyers, TikTok videos. You can edit videos as well. LinkedIn cover photos, posters, and more. And then a homework assignment for all of y'all is I want to see y'all make a LinkedIn cover photo. How many of y'all don't have a LinkedIn cover? How many of y'all do not have a LinkedIn cover photo? Oh, looks like everyone has one. Okay. But if you want to design one for your own brand, if you want to post it on LinkedIn, tag me. I'd love to check it out afterwards as well. And then, Adobe Express, they have cool tools like text to image, generative fill, text to template, which is pretty cool, text effects. You can also make quick actions like removing backgrounds, converting to MP4s, GIFs, and more, and then different templates you can start off with. I will start off with creating a brand. So you can go to your stuff. We're going to make a fictional person. So I'm going to make a name Fufflebean. So Fuffle is the name of the bunny, and I guess the story to Fuffle is Fuffle's favorite food is jelly beans. So that's why it's Fufflebean. So fictional person, fictional character we're going to make a brand for. So our friend is Fuffle today. So Fuffle, you want to get a logo. So let's just say you don't have a logo. You don't know where to start. So you can do Adobe Express has a logo creator. You can input some stuff and it'll make a logo for you based on different styles. So for example, you have a bunny design business, it designs bunnies. And it's called maybe Fufflebean does this. And then maybe the slogan is let's hop into design. Actually, maybe Fufflebean is a bunny design business. Yeah, so Fuffle is a bunny design freelancer. I'm just really making this up on the fly and letting AI take these ideas further. So you can choose different styles you want to have. Let's say you want an elegant style, and we'll generate. You can choose different icons as well. So some bunnies. Let's just choose this little bunny here. And we'll design some logos that I can just use. So I like this Fufflebean, and we generate a lot of different types of logos. I feel like, I just want to say as a preface, like, I feel like AI is a great starting point if you don't know how to start. However, I feel like as designers, we have a lot of skills to add our own personality and flavor to it as well. So just want to put that out there. So I want to just download this. I had some issues like downloading it, so I'm just going to like take a screenshot and upload it from Fluffle Bean as well. Yeah, so you can see it generated like a lot. It can try out different styles. It can try like maybe want a bold style. You're like really bold. You can get different Fluffle Bean styles. Yeah, so we have our logo that we've generated. So I'm just gonna like add my, no, it's not loading. I'm gonna add my logo here. And then you can also add different fonts. There's also Adobe fonts, so we can like select, you can see fonts, like for example, I always use Poppins as a font. However, if you want to have multiple fonts, it can show Poppins, and then it will give you like different font suggestions of what to use as well, just like as a starting point. If you want to upload multiple fonts, you can do it there. For example, like I like Poppins, but I also want to add some variety to my personal brand, so I'll just take the first one, No Toast Stands. So I could add Poppins. I had some issues loading it today, so we might skip that part if it does not load in time. You can also upload different graphics you want to use as well. Like, let's just do Fuffle Confetti, Fuffles. And then you can also select different templates you want to use. But for the sake of this demo, I'm going to keep it short and focus on the AI tools. And then last thing, if you want to choose different colors you want to use, you can also go to Adobe Color. You can also upload photos and we'll sample the colors, or you can look at the trends and seeing what's popping and getting inspired from that as well. So we're just going to add some of their suggested colors to this as like a template, as a starting point. So this is kind of like a style sheet, or like a style sheet you would create in Figma. Ooh, wrong one. Colors. I just pick like maybe 2 or 3 primary colors for now. And you have Fluffle Bean here. And then you can also preview how your brand would look like across different backgrounds. And the logo's like this because I had some issues downloading it as a transparent, so we're gonna make do with that. So now we want to, let's just say we want to make a LinkedIn cover photo. Now Adobe Express, you can like make a lot of different things with it, like even like an Etsy shop banner or stuff. But we're gonna find LinkedIn cover photo, LinkedIn profile cover, and then see it loads. You can see the different templates that are available to use. We can choose maybe like this one. And then like in Adobe Express, you can, in any images, you can add the AI tools. So for example, you can have generative fill. If it loads, you can you can paint over some things. Like let's say I want to generate some bunnies. It will generate. Takes a while. We'll give you some variations to choose from. Like I just painted over this part, and I want to add some bunnies to my lawn here. There, bunnies. Whee. Yeah, so have more bunnies, and when maybe we can do bunnies designing. Maybe we can add some like bunnies designing over here too. Ooh, let me like bunnies designing together and having a great time and vibing. They're vibing. Let's see how like AI takes vibing. I say vibing a lot, by the way. Do elevator music. Oh, I guess. Oh, here we go. Oh, they're trying to. I guess they're designing like a little dance together. Interesting. 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 All right, let's do this one because we like bunnies. All right, so that's the generative fill. You can also like remove background or erase anything in your images. You can also upload your own images and do it to that. And then since we made a brand, you can go to like your stuff and see Fuffle Beans brand. You can just like drag and drop any of the images like Fuffle, confetti, ooh, Fuffle confetti over there as well. You can access like your brand. So it's kind of like a style sheet, style guide on Figma. You can like save the styles and drag and drop the little components everywhere too. So it's Fuffle, what is this? Let's make it smaller. And another like cool thing, for the sake of time, I'm just gonna like do this pretty fast. So what is this person directing the eyes to it? So let's just say it changes the Fuffle Bean. And then you can also like make the font different. But another cool thing I want to show is text effects. Like you can do, it's just pretty cool. Like you can make it like a balloon style and customize it. So this is a blue 3D rendered plastic smooth balloon style. The Fuffle Bean like that. You can like, Fuffle Bean is like a bunny designer. Bunny designer. And then you can also make it different style, which is pretty cool as well. Make it a gold drip. Fuffle Bean's a fancy bunny designer with lots of bunnies around here all the time. Let me see how we're on time. Okay. Yeah, and the last thing I want to show is just like really cool. How many of y'all like have to design a lot of like banners or like marketing stuff? Okay, cool. I feel like this is like a great way. It's like text a template, which is like pretty cool. So let's just see. We want to maybe like host a movie night about bunnies for people in tech. So like maybe like we want to design like an event banner for a movie or for a hike. Hike for bunny collectors who work in tech. You can generate. Mix in art and science, generating images. Just loading. Yeah, so you can like generate templates as stuff. Like based on your text, it will put on a full-on template for y'all to use. Like hike on, bunny lovers, tech hub city. Yeah, tech bunny hike. That little bunny in nature. So those are just like fun things to do. But yeah, any questions or things you would like me to prompt AI to do?
Do you guys want to start some Q&A?
Yeah, it's Q&A.
I've got an idea. What about back to generative fill with the bunnies? What about a bunny balloon or blimp? Either one for the sky.
Oh yeah, I can totally
Just
do
a thought.
that.
I don't know.
Yeah, I can totally do that. Also, like, feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm on all the platforms, so scan the QR code. But yes, I will go back to this slide in case you guys haven't scanned it yet. But yeah, I will do a bunny blimp for that.
And then feel free to get the rest of your questions ready. So.
Let's do bunny blimp. Bunny blimp. Like, what style did you want it in?
I'm not sure. It could be a balloon or a blimp.
Yeah, or bunny balloons. Bunny balloons that look very happy. Like happy bunny balloons. Let's do that. All right. Any other questions as it generates?
Hi everyone, my name is Piram, and my question to you is, how did you start Design Buddies, and where did that come from? And just tell me your story about Design Buddies. But
Yeah, happy to. So, long story short, growing up in the Bay Area, all the adults were like, Grace, you gotta be a doctor, engineer, or lawyer, or failure. But that's what I believed. It might not be true, but like that's how I saw it. But I was always like class clown. I love drawing anime. I love playing games, and I always saw myself like working in entertainment. And so I actually my mom, she paid me to go to the gym with her, so I started running, got really fast. So that's what inspired my college major in bioengineering and then computer science engineering. So that's why I studied that in school. Because I wanted to learn how to biohack myself to run faster. However, when I graduated from college, I went to Santa Clara University. I graduated undergrad in 2019. I was like, I kind of want to get into UX design. It felt like it combined like a lot of my art and engineering thinking into like a nice job that pays really well in tech in Silicon Valley. So I was like, let's do it. So when I was trying to get into design, I felt like there's so many resources out there. I'm so confused. I want to make friends. I want to like have accountability buddies. So it was like kind of during the pandemic, I was like, all right, let's get serious about this design job thing. And so I made Design Buddies. I just randomly made a Discord server. Design Buddies was like a random name I thought of during a run. I was like, I like bunnies, I guess, design. And so I made a Discord server and then called Design Buddies April 2020. And then initially I just wanted to make friends, and I just shared it on LinkedIn, shared it on some social media, and it like went viral. Like we got like our first 1,000 members within the first month. I was like, wow, let's make it big. So I just like started hosting a lot of events. A lot of people reached out to us, and like flash forward to like 3.5 years later, 63,000 people are now in the server, and now we're helping designers across the world land jobs, access resources, especially like around the world in like developing nations and stuff. So yeah, so now I'm just like, I love trying new things, and I have like no boundaries to trying new things as long as it doesn't harm anyone. So I'm always like seeing how I can help out, like trying out wild ideas. Like this year, we're actually hosting our first conference in San Francisco in May 2024. We do a lot of design challenges, career fairs. I'm actually building an AI tool to help designers improve their interview skills as well. So wild ideas to help designers like and have fun. I really enjoy it. So that's how it grew so much and continues to grow to this day.
Any other questions for Grace or requests for prompting? Should we go back? Should we do another like a promotional banner, or what are your thoughts?
A promotional banner?
Or actually, should we fix the balloons, the bunny balloons?
Oh yeah, we can do more. Like make them bunny. Yeah, they're not bunny enough. They're not even bunny. Let's prompt again. Okay, generate again. I can take more questions as it loads too.
Hi, thank you for the presentation. My question is about copyright and giving credits to Adobe Express and AI in general. Let's say I create a banner for social media and then to avoid any legal issues, not to get in trouble, do I need to give copyright or credit to mention it somewhere, or there's no guidance as of now for AI or Adobe Express?
Right now, since it's trained on Adobe stock, which is already open source, not to my understanding, no, but I would recommend adding it just in case. I'm not a legal expert, but if I were to create something with AI tools, I would disclose it myself too.
Do you add it in social media?
For me, I currently don't. I only use it as an idea generator, so I never copy and paste from it. So not yet, but if I did, I would add it.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Any other questions for Grace? So where aren't the balloons bunnies yet?
I don't know. I need to ask Adobe Express that. Let me try bunny-shaped balloons. Any other questions as it generates?
My question is, for those who are in the phase of ramping up their portfolios, do you have any tips and tricks or ways we can shortcut our portfolios using AI?
Yeah, like for me, I always encourage designers to use templates. Like, work smart, not hard. Don't code your portfolio from scratch. Don't feel the need to like learn front end and everything as well. I would say I feel like the really meat of your portfolio is your case studies. So I would maybe ask ChatGPT how would you write a UX design case study? Like, what's the outline you would do it? And use that as a starting point for your existing projects. And then oftentimes, a big mistake I made in the beginning was I wrote too much on my portfolio, and I was too many words. I would also put it and ask ChatGPT to shorten. Ask ChatGPT you are a UX design hiring manager at X company who works on X products. How would you shorten this part? Ask ChatGPT pretend they're the hiring manager looking at it, and ask them how would they go about the portfolio and shorten or expand on different parts.
Grace, would you deliberately focus on any specific AI tools in your portfolio? I mean, sometimes a portfolio is more about the output and less about the tools, but are there any tools that you would recommend designers include in their workflow that created the portfolio to showcase?
I would say it depends. So I actually haven't updated my portfolio since I was last job hunting in 2020, and things have changed a lot since, so I can't really speak on the current market on that. But if I were to do that right now, I would maybe talk about how I maybe leveraged AI for idea generation, user research synthesis, how I leverage AI to generate ideas or validate ideas, or used it in my Figma to hand off to engineers, generating Swift AI, Swift UI and stuff. So I was maybe if I used AI, I would add that to my process in my toolkit.
Cool, thank you. Any other questions for Grace?
Yeah. Oh, question.
Oh, perfect. If you guys could just help me out with passing this mic. Thank you.
So about content creation in UX, what if you're relatively inexperienced, but you have content you really want to create, but they were oh, I've only been out in the field for 2 years, nobody's going to care, or they think I'm not credible. So how do you establish credibility if you're not super experienced?
Yeah, when I was starting out, I just shared about what I learned, because there's always someone that is also newer than you who would benefit from that. Yeah. And people, you can also connect with peers. And I feel everyone has something unique to offer. We all live different lives. Yeah. And sometimes I see people post oh, I went to this art museum. I saw this and it inspired me to do that. Or advice I would tell my younger self. I wouldn't I always like to encourage people just post your experiences, post things from your perspective, and don't let the number of years experience you might have stop you from doing anything you want to do.
That's good, thanks.
That's great advice. Thanks, Grace. Let's see. Anything from LinkedIn? Let me check.
Yeah, and I'm relatively new. I graduated, I've been in the industry probably almost 4 years now, 3-4 years now, but I started posting when I was a student. So you don't need anyone's permission to post.
Grace, thank you so much. Let's give Grace a round of applause.
Thank you. Feel free to connect.
And with that, if you had a good time this evening, feel free to mention that you were here. Follow us on Twitter, LinkedIn. We post content there frequently, including edited versions of these talks and shorts. So please feel free to follow. We have a number of upcoming events on our meetup page. You can find those probably where you found this exact same event. We do this almost every week, so take a look. And for example, we have AI for Designers on February 28th coming up. That event is live right now. You can register. Pika will be here, which is a video generation tool. You can prompt for video generation and editing. We have AI for Developers next week. That's 7 days from now. Canva is going to be here. Canva is going to show a workflow for our developer audience, but I think a lot of you designers will be able to actually relate to it. So especially if you're somewhat interested in the front end, take a look and come see us. Same place, same time, same deal. That's what's happening. And what else? We're going to start open mic announcements. Let's see, I might take the first announcement, and then we're going to go to Grace. So yeah, there's the conference. Once again, grab that QR code. By the way, Facet is going to be there. So Vedi, remember Vedi from 30 minutes ago? The CEO of Facet, Joe, will be presenting on the main stage. So a lot to look forward to there. With that, I would like to turn the mic back over to guess who? Grace. So this is an example of an open mic announcement. This is just to kick off networking and get things started. So Grace, if you could please stand approximately here. LinkedIn can see you as well.
Yeah, hi everyone. Hi LinkedIn. Hi the internet. Yeah, I'm Grace. Yeah, I just on just now. But yeah, Design Buddies is the world's largest UX design community. We have a lot of free resources to help you level up your design career, get to the next level, whether that be landing a new job, getting promoted, getting that bread, and making that money. We have a lot of events, in person, online, a lot of workshops, design challenges, content, and more. We also have a podcast called Down the Rabbit Hole, where we deep dive into careers and deep dive into topics about like AI, tech, AR, VR. Now we have 63,000 members on Discord, and we're actually hosting our first ever conference in person here in San Francisco, May 2024. More to come on our Discord, so join that. And thank you, everyone, and I'll kick off to the next person.
Thanks very much, Grace. So that's an open mic announcement. Who's next? These are all relevant topics. Come on up. Don't need to raise your hand, just queue up right here. In the interest of time, see if you can keep it to 30 seconds.
All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Piram. I just graduated college in December, so that's pretty cool. But why I'm here is that I'm currently building in Vision OS for the first time. I'm like first to design, so this is all very new for me, first event like this. So if you know anyone in Vision OS or on an Apple who knows the AR VR space really well, hit me up and we can connect afterwards. So thank you.
Thanks very much. Perfect announcement. Come on up.
Hey, what's good, everybody? LinkedIn folks. My name is Daniel. I want to use generative AI to help people have better relationships. It's been said that the quality of your life is primarily determined by the quality of your relationships with others. And I think especially in the coming world, we're all kind of retreating a little bit too much and feeling disconnected. And I think that generative AI can help bridge the gap. So if you are interested in that idea, see value in it, see a future in it, I just have the idea. I'm a designer. You know, I can make the screens, but I'm looking for supporters or people who are on board, even to just validate the idea. You know, come find me afterwards. I'd appreciate it. Thanks.
Awesome. Thanks, Daniel. Look who it is, Shahil.
Hey everyone, I'm Shahil. I presented on glyph.space about 2 months ago at this exact thing, and right now we've kind of launched a new version of our tool, and we're looking for designers to partner with on making a case study for it. So if we're basically, to give you some context, a way to take your vector designs and SVGs and turn them into super high quality 3D renders. So if that sounds interesting to you, or you're looking to kind of partner with some early startups on interesting projects, would love to chat after.
Thanks so much, Shahil. And you can find Shahil's talk on our LinkedIn page as a replay, if you'd like. Take a closer look at Glyph. It's super, super powerful. Any other announcements? You sure? Okay. Well, thanks so much for attending. Let's do some networking, get to know each other. If you have any questions on the conference, let me know. But grab a ticket while you can, and let's get to know each other and build community. So thank you very much, and thank you, LinkedIn virtual audience, for being here. We appreciate your attendance as well. Thanks, everyone.